All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, back with some more fight replacement news. Once again, some more disappointing news. As y'all know, Cheyanne Vlismas versus Tabatha Ricci was on for October 1st, but I already posted this on my community page. Cheyanne Vlismas is out. Jessica Penne is stepping in against Tabatha Ricci. Unfortunately, Cheyanne Vlismas had to pull out for personal reasons, which I'm not sure what they are. I don't think she's even saying what they are. Doesn't have anything to do with any injuries or illness or anything like that, because I did see on her IG that, she looks fine. She's still moving around. She's still doing some drills and rolling a little bit. So she's fine there. But I think she posted this in an article that it's some personal reasons that she's going to leave unsaid. And she had to push her her return to the cage back a couple of months, right? And I think she wanted to take on the fight with Ricci and push back, but they're going to keep Ricci on this card because, I guess they still need a fight slot for this particular card coming up October 1st, because I don't even think they have like a full fleshed out card yet, so I'm gonna go through the whole card to the new card, as far as the WMMA fights on this one. But this is what Cheyanne Vlismas had to say. She said, "Unfortunately, my fight with Tabatha Ricci is off. I had some very personal things that will be left unsaid." All right, so some personal things that she's leaving unsaid. "I will not be able to fight in October. I asked if I could reschedule to a later date, but instead, thank you to Mick Maynard, I'm now rescheduled for December." Okay, so she got a new opponent coming up for December, and Tabatha Ricci is going to be taking on Jessica Penne. My thoughts on this fight, I'll take it. I'm going to watch it, but it's definitely not a fight I really want to see. Vlismas versus Ricci, that one is a good prospect versus prospect fight, just to kind of test out where these fighters are at and, just kind of see how good Ricci's going to be, using her jiu-jitsu against, a solid striker like Vlismas. But now I think we got, Jessica Penne, who's an experienced veteran, who has more of a well-rounded game than Vlismas, that could really give a test to Tabatha Ricci, which in some ways this fight might be better for, because, hey, if Ricci goes in there and dominates, shoot, she might put Jessica Penne into retirement. And that's what we want, right? Most of the times. Like, sometimes I don't like to see prospect versus prospect, but in this case, I think that some of these fighters, they really need to be fighting for a top 15 spot, like for strawweight. Strawweight's kind of different than flyweight. When you see prospect versus prospect and flyweight, you really don't want to see that, because I think there's enough veterans to go around for these prospects, to kind of test themselves and, give them a chance to break into the top 15 and retire some of these flyweights that just don't really have it anymore, right? But in the strawweight division, sometimes the talent gap and skill gap is kind of far separated. You know what I mean? Like somebody like Jessica Penne, she's got a lot of experience that I think is going to be a real test for Tabatha Ricci, because, just a few years ago, I was saying Tabatha Ricci would be a solid, she'd be eventually a solid contender or a solid prospect for the UFC had she, kind of, taken some time and did more work in LFA. But shoot, they rushed her through in there with Manon Firo. She got dominated, took her first L in a very dominant, brutal fashion, which I thought was crazy, because that could take something out of a fighter, right? But now she's back at 115, and she's going to be taking on a veteran, which I think she's going to have much more chance against, because, Ricci is physically strong. I think she has a pretty good right hand. But the thing is, both of these fighters are black belts in BJJ, so they might cancel each other out, or they might respect each other enough to say, okay, I'm not going to take it to the ground here because this fighter can submit. Kind of like Werner Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern, it turned into a striking match, right? So you might see this one turn into a striking match. And if I had to predict who might have the advantage, I'd have to say Jessica Penne, because Jessica Penne still does have a decent jab, some okay kicks, like not like the most polished striking or the elite striking. She will let her hands go when she can put some combinations together, but she did bust up the nose of Emily Ducote. I consider Emily Ducote a pretty good striker, and she did very well against Jessica Penne. She was ripping Jessica Penne apart with shots, but Penne still was able to get her shots in on a good striker like this, and I think if she goes in there fighting, a solid grappler like Tabatha Ricci, there should be no problem for Jessica Penne to go in there and establish a jab and use some angles and move around and keep this shorter fighter at bay, right? Because I think, she like 3-4 inches taller than Tabatha Ricci. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just kind of guessing off top, because I think Tabatha Ricci's like 5'1", right? So, yeah, I think Tabatha Ricci in this fight, her best bet will be to fight a clinch fight, on the inside, dirty box, use her right hands against the cage, and, you know, surprise Penne with those takedowns. But don't get reckless because, like I said, Penne, she can be dangerous in her off her back, in her guard. You know, she can get some submissions off as well. So, you know, I think that's a game that I think both fighters might want to stay away from. You might see more of a striking match once again between, you know, two black belts here because they respect each other so much. But yeah, man, it's going down, like I said, October 1st with Penne and Ricci now. Vlismas is out of this one. Personal reasons she's not saying. So as far as WMMA fights for October 1st, this is what the card's looking like for now. Penne versus Ricci, Leah Ledson versus Chelsea Chandler, and for the main event, it's still Mackenzie Dern versus Yan Zhana. So pretty decent fights on there, you know, as far as the WMMA fights, because I want to see Chelsea Chandler make her debut, see how she looks at 135. And y'all know this Dern Yan Zhana fight, you know, we're going to see striker versus grappler pretty much here, right? You know, but let me know what y'all think. Penne versus Ricci, how do y'all think this fight's going to go? Do you think Ricci's going to hand Penne her walking papers, or is Penne going to take this girl to school and show her some UFC veteran tricks? Let me know, guys. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.